Friends, welcome to Dr. Vet channel. We have seen enteric colibacillosis part 1 and part 2. Now we are entering into the part 3. Here we see the treatment, prevention and control aspect of enteric colibacillosis. For a veterinary officer, this is very important video to save the life of the neonates. First we will see the treatment aspect. Immediate antimicrobial therapy can be started before an etiologic diagnosis because disease become worst very fast and there may be any death, then chances of cure is very less. So immediate antimicrobial therapy should be instituted. If there is a case of mild diarrhea without any systemic disease, is not an indication for antimicrobial therapy where antimicrobial therapy can be delayed if there is mild diarrhea. 30% of diarrheic cows with systemic disease are bacteremic, presence of bacteria in blood, and that suggests a clear indication for parenteral antimicrobial therapy, not oral parenteral antimicrobial therapy, so that immediately it reaches to circulation and start killing the bacteria that is present in the blood before it makes any nuisance in the body. So immediate parenteral antibiotics must be considered whenever the calves are systematically ill or recurrent. The next therapy is the fluid and electrolyte therapy. It is very important for water and electrolyte replacement and correction of acid base disturbance that has occurred into the body due to disease. The fluid should contain glucose because here there is hypoglycemia case, important amino acids, especially glycine or alanine, sodium, potassium, and either bicarbonate or citrate or acetate as a alkalizing agent. Here we are supplying what is lost in the diarrhea and to correct the normal physiology of the body. We are correcting the water deficit, correcting the electrolyte deficit, and correcting the acidemia. The calves that are able to stand by themselves and able to suck the mother can be treated with oral electrolyte solution alone. So here parenteral is not required. When calves are sufficient strength enough to able to stand and suck the mother, oral therapy will do. Fluid for oral rehydration is available by many commercial preparations and that can be given by nipple bottle or stomach tube. Those calves which are recommend, which are very weak and shows the evidence of water loss more than 8% of the body weight require immediate intravenous therapy, not oral therapy. But oral therapy you can give for the maintenance of the physiological body fluids. The calves which are recommended are usually acidotic because bicarbonate is lost from the body. The body become acidotic and Base deficit can be corrected initially by rapid administration of hypertonic solution of sodium bicarbonate. So immediately sodium bicarbonate neutralize the acid and animal comes to a normal. The dairy cows are frequently hypoglycemic, decreased glucose level. So adding 25 to 50 gram of dextrose to electrolyte solution is highly beneficial in initial treatment phase. Non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs, you know that it has a three property: analgesic, anti-inflammatory, and antipyretic. And over and above that, it has a anti-secretory property. So NSAID is very helpful to make the animal at ease, make the animal a painless, and will not feel pain. Plus, it is anti-secretory, so it will help in curing the case. Alteration of diet is advisable. Partial feeding of milk increases the fecal volume and provide energy and may promote gut healing. Sometimes in very severe cases, the oral feeding of milk is not advisable. Withheld the milk for about 24 hours. The drugs to reduce the intestinal motility and decrease fecal output, such as hyoscine and butyl bromide or atropine, is sometimes advocated in very severe cases. Intestinal gel and intestinal adsorbent, such as kaolin and pectin, are also in general use. They also help in recovery from the diarrhea. Prevention and control is very important because disease is very severe and serious also. Once the disease occur, the chances of recovery is less, the mortality is alarming. So, institute prevention and control measure to save the life of many neonates calves. There are several recommended specific management procedures I have mentioned here. First is minimize infection exposure to neonates. Take certain steps that infection should be minimized in a neonatal environment, and that can be achieved by practicing good general hygiene and sanitation, disinfection of the premises, isolation of diseased animal so that they cannot transmit the disease, avoid overcrowding. Overcrowding spreads the disease very fast. Separate area for calving because during calving time the environment and mother gives the infection to calve. So separate calving with all hygienic measures and separate calf rearing because calf had a habit of chewing each other's mouth, then they suck the navel, suck the tail, and this is how they are getting the infection. As a preventive measure, antibiotic added in feed immediately after birth. That also helps greatly. First step we have seen minimize the infection in the environment and to the calf. Second management advice is maximize non-specific resistance, not specific. It comes next. Maximize non-specific resistance by provide good nutrition to dam as well as neonate. If the dam is provided with good nutrition, the calf will be very healthy with good immunoglobulin level. Very important thing is feeding colostrum more than 5% of the body weight. It is recommended 10% of the body weight. Certainly, within 2 to 6 hours of birth, this time limit is very much important because the intestine of the calf allows the immunoglobulin to enter from intestine to blood is highest at the time of birth. Then as the time passes, this absorbing capacity of intestine to immunoglobulin decreases. So within 2 to 6 hours of birth, provide 10% body weight colostrum and followed at 12-hour interval and up to the next 48 hours. Vitamin A injection to dam 10 to 15 days prior to parturition. That also gives the calf healthy. The third management practice is increase the specific resistance of the newborn. Now coming to the specific, that can be achieved by vaccinating the pregnant dam or the newborn. If the pregnant dams are vaccinated, that antibody may come into the newborn. This can control the enterotoxinic bacillosis. If the farmer or veterinary officer adopt these practices well in advance, definitely the calf mortality or neonatal mortality is controlled to a great extent. Neonates are the replacement stock and they are the our future producing animals. Take care of these newly born animals. Dear friends, share this information to many veterinarians and save our replacement stock. Requested to press like button to support this channel. Requested to subscribe. Thank you very much for observing this video.